in 1966, my dad lost his election as judge. He'd been appointed in 1961, and for a 6-year term. And then when they had the election 5.5 years before, after he was appointed, he lost. And he lost in major part because in the run-up on the election, there was a full-page ad in the local newspaper, the Hood River News, where over 20 people who belonged to the church there, the Episcopal Church, that our family was very actively involved in, and Dad was the chancellor to the bishop. Over 20 of them signed this ad for the guy that dislodged Dad, named John Cushman, who was, as Donald Trump likes to say, he was a low-energy person. He kind of got pushed out of his job in a small firm there because he was kind of a non-producer, but he didn't win by his dazzling personality or legal accomplishments. He won because the people in the church said in a newspaper ad that Dad was a difficult person, and I don't remember all the words they used, but they said he was an unkind person and he didn't have a good temperament. Well, that was true. He'd called the local minister a liar in front of the little governing body and then refused to go to church. And one of my heartbreaks is that his best friend, the bishop, alter ego, the two of them loved each other, and when there was a problem somewhere in any of the churches anywhere in Eastern Oregon, they'd jump in the car together and drive up there and mediate with the local vestry, the local committee that had the power to fire. And they were always quite successful. They didn't want to lose a minister if they could avoid it because they were scarce as hell. But Dad did a great job of that, and the bishop just loved him. And I think, looking back on it, the bishop loved him in part because Dad knew how to put the hammer down at the appropriate moment. But why didn't the bishop tell my dad, Tunis, if you're going to be my chancellor, you've got to go to church on Sunday in your local church. You can't be rejecting your local congregation. That's not Christian, and it also will create a big problem for us in the church. And probably even for you, Tunis, my good friend. I don't want to see you get hurt. Never said a word to Dad about that I'm aware of. And I've looked at some of their correspondence. They were writing each other letters all the time, mostly filled with teasing kind of humor. One of the things that was in there was that Dad wrote, well, you're talking about making me a coadjutor bishop. A coadjutor bishop is one without much power, but he can fill in for little things for the real bishop, sort of like a medical assistant. But I don't want to be a coadjutor bishop. I want to be a super bishop. But the problem with that is there's a problem with the initials. Get it? SB, son of a bitch. Anyway, they just had a wonderful time going back and forth, teasing each other and showing a deep and warm friendship. But here the bishop sat and watched my dad going over a cliff. And even after Dad lost his job, and at age 65, with no pension, there was no pension on that judge job then. There is now. There's a great pension. But then there wasn't. No pension. He turned all of his clients away, all the people he'd written wills for, who, as they drop off, then you get to probate the estate, which is lucrative and quite easy work for a lawyer in a small town. all that scattered to other law firms. A few of them probably came back, but not many. They'd formed a new relationship with a different lawyer. So here's Dad starting out from nowhere with nothing and having been disgraced by being thrown out of his job as judge.